we value a child who can recite Wale Soyinka over a child who can repair generator. That's why we have a country with grammar speakers, but we don't have light.
Everyone is special in his unique purpose, definitely. So we need the expertise of Wale Soyinka. In the same vein, we need the expertise of someone who will fix generator.
Colleges are quite overrated and can be considered scam.
It's not a guarantee to say, it's not enough to say that education is scam.
So what companies, even in Nigeria, are looking after is skill.
I can tell you for free, in Nigeria, you cannot succeed without a college degree.
Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of Wase Unfiltered. To those watching Wase Unfiltered for the first time, welcome. This is the platform where we are free to speak your mind without apology. On this program, no topic is too sacred and no truth is off limits. If you would like to be part of the Wase Unfiltered family, simply chat the WhatsApp number in the description and you will be added to our WhatsApp community. And don't forget, like this video, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment and share with others. Let's grow this bold community together. Tonight, we confront one of the most hotly debated questions of our time. Is college a scam? Once seen as the surest path to success, higher education now faces rising criticism, as many question whether it is worth the soaring cost in a rapidly changing world. Joining us are two voices with opposite views, Mr. Dynamics, a tech entrepreneur and education reformist who argues that the college system is outdated and exploitative. You are welcome, Mr. Dynamics.
Thank you.
And not least worthy of mention is Mr. Tochukwu Raphael, a young journalist who defend higher education as vital to intellectual and social advancement. You are welcome, Mr. Tochukwu Raphael.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Awasi.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. Tonight, debate goes beyond classroom. It is about your money, your future, and how we measure real success. Before we begin, I would like to remind our guests and our audience of the rules guiding tonight's discussion. Well, these are the 7 guiding rules of this program, and we trust that our guests will honor them in the spirit of respectful and meaningful conversation. As stated in the final rule, all contributions must stay within the scope of the debate prompts. So without further delay, here are today's debate prompts. But before we start the conversation, let me define the two terms, college and scam. College is an educational institution or establishment that offers post-secondary education. It provides academic programs that lead to degrees such as associate, diplomas, bachelor's, or sometimes master's degrees. In most countries, a college focuses on undergraduate education, though in some countries like Nigeria, the term is often used interchangeably with university. Colleges can specialize in various fields, include arts, science, technology, humanity, business, or vocational training, and aim to equip students with both theoretical knowledge and practical skills for careers or further studies. While a scam, on the other hand, is a deceptive or fraudulent scheme designed to trick people into giving away their money, personal information, or trust, usually for the benefit of the scammer. It often involves false promises, manipulation, or misinterpretation of value, where the victim is led to believe they are gaining something worthwhile, but in reality, they are being exploited or misled. So in a nutshell, scam is a deceptive or fraudulent scheme designed to trick people while a college is an organized educational institution whose aim is to equip students with both practical and theoretical knowledge and skills for their career. Going back to our prompt, first thing first, Mr. Dynamics, I would like to start with you. Is college a scam or a pathway to prosperity?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. Like you've already stated the ground, you already defined what college is and what a scam is. So I'm going to start like this. For a long time now, college has been sold as the golden ticket to success. The regular study hard, graduate, get a job, and live comfortable thing. But why in today's reality, that ticket often comes with hidden charges. For instance, globally, over 1.7 trillion is owed in student loans, with the average US graduate standing out in $37,000. But let's kind of bring it home in Nigerian terms. While we don't run a formal loan structure yet, the hidden cost of tertiary education is quite immense. When I say hidden cost, like I said, we don't have a structured loan system for college like advanced country, the United States. But in Nigeria, we have a kind of hidden cost. Family often go into financial strain just to sponsor university fees, accommodation, handouts, the whole thing. And also sometimes they have to also handle sorting for their grades. So by the end of all these things, we can see that there is hidden costs, and sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times there is no return on investment on this particular venture. For instance, in the United States, since 1998, there has been 69% increase in college cost, but only 19% increase in in wages. So just 19% increase in wages, but 69% increase in 69% increase in college cost. So we can say at this point, or with this particular statistics, we can say colleges are quite overrated, and in some cases can be considered scam. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Dynamics, for your contribution. I would like to ask the same question to Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. Mr. Tochukwu Raphael, is college a scam or a pathway to prosperity?
Thank you very much, Mr. Wase. College is not a scam. The reason I say this is that the fundamental reason why we go to college is to acquire a certificate. That certificate will enable us, or will afford us the opportunity to access jobs. That is, after we have graduated. So in your introduction, you define scam as a kind of fraud or deceit. To deceive somebody, you get money from the person, and in the end, the person fails to get what he intended to get. So college in Nigeria or anywhere in the world is not a scam, because if you look at the context, okay, take our country for example. We place so much priority or premium on certificate in Nigeria. And that is why after school, when you want to get a job, or if there is any opportunity for employment, you will be asked, where is your certificate? If you don't have your certificate, your college certificate, then you have no room in that employment. So let me stop for here. I have other arguments to make.
All right. With regard to this topic, Mr. Dynamics, he posed a question to you that in Nigeria, as far as Nigeria is concerned, I realized that most of your points were based in United States of America and maybe the Western world. But the reality in Nigeria is that if you don't have the certificate, nobody values the skill you have, or oftentimes people will overlook the skills and focus on the certificate. What do you have to say about that, since you are living in Nigeria and we must focus on the country we are living in?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. So, concerning what you said about the statistics, I said based on the United States, actually, same thing applies also in Nigeria, which we can see on recent employment data or LinkedIn. We see companies are moving, both Nigerian companies are moving towards raw skill over certificates. So it's we've gone past the time where once you have a certificate, you get employment. We've passed that particular point because if you check on employment boards or job boards, you're going to see basic job, even as a junior software engineer or basic marketing rep, just simple jobs. You will say you need 5 years or 4 years of experience. So at this point, okay, if you need 4 or 5 years of experience and you're just coming out, you're just a new college graduate. I don't think you see it's not kind of balanced at this point. So you see that what they are seeking for is not your paper, but the experience and the skill that comes with it. So while your certificate might just give you a basic edge, but that is not what is needed, because at this point, what people are seeking for is who can do the job, not your papers or your qualifications or just what is said in the paper. So what companies, even in Nigeria, are looking after is skill and knowledge, not the paper these days. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with you that most people in the tech fame, but when we talk about college offers degrees in various fields, which includes medicine, laws, engineering, humanity, arts, and a lot of vast variety of fields. Do you think that we can have a medical doctor without passing through the instituted system, the formal system, which is the college?
No, yeah, you are right at this point. We cannot have a medical doctor as a title without going through the educational or the college system. For sure, he needs to go through that particular route. But in the end, most of the times, we can say for sure that not every doctor who started finishes, because most of the time the costs might end up making them either drop out, switch courses, and kind of end up chasing other things because the cost is too much. So while we cannot have a doctor or a lawyer without an educational, a proper college system, yes, but still, most of the times, 50% of them might not go through that route, might start or will not finish because of the cost. Some might finish, but we cannot afford their housemanship and the rest. So I think while we cannot do away completely with college, the reason why we can say it's a scam is that most of the times they start and don't finish. Some that start at the end of the day, they take loans that will cost them 10 to 30 years of their lifetime, paying back what they kind of loaned out to complete their college. So at this
Yeah,
point, I don't see
definitely.
proper
I
solution.
agree with you. But I don't think in Nigeria we are having this problem because it is only recently that the government of the country decided to start giving student loan. So it is now that we can see whether student will be taking huge loan. And this is only peculiar to those who are studying in Europe or United States of America, actually. Let me turn my lens to Mr. Otrasin. Mr. Tochukwu, if college really helps people succeed, why are so many graduates still jobless and in debt? Going by the unemployment rate in Nigeria, the National Bureau of Statistics has it that the unemployment rate currently stands at 5.3% in the first quarter of 2024. And vast majority of unemployed people in Nigeria are the graduates. So what do you think is the problem if truly college degrees guarantees job or something in Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you very much. I like being balanced in whatever argument I make. The reason why, a greater percentage of Nigerians, young people in Nigeria, have no jobs is attributable to partially to the government and partially to themselves. Because, you talked about, Dunamis talked about sorting in the, tertiary institutions, in colleges. Sorting is impossible without the cooperation of students. It is a student who does not read that in the end, he finds out that, he has nothing upstairs. He will now say, let me sort out with the lecturer, and then he will, help me to sail through my exams. And in the end, when I acquire that certificate, in which I believe that it's not a scam, I still go out there and mess up myself. I have no job. Now, do not forget that college, in your introduction, you said that college involves the universities, technical institutions.
Yeah, like the polytechnic and college of educations. Yes.
Now, what do you do in a polytechnic? You learn a skill there. There are other vocational institutions which are higher than the secondary schools, in which you can grab one skill or the other. But you find out that even after some people is studying there, they come out jobless. Why? Because they failed to put in their best, willingly put in their best. So I think on the side of the students themselves, they don't read. They don't apply this motivation, self-motivation. They don't do it. Now, on the side of the government has a lot. They have their own share of, failure. It is the job of the government to provide study on instructional materials in schools. Now, look at what happened in recently in Unical, when Peter Obi visited. He donated money for them to purchase, necessary materials. Because dentistry is something that is very, very important, because it relates to medicine, it relates to health. So the reason why there is joblessness in Nigeria is that people do not want to, put more efforts on their own, make their own efforts to acquire knowledge in school. They go to school and TikTok, they go to school and do several other things without putting out more efforts to study. That is what I believe.
But some critics will argue with you that most of the reason that caused that is the fact that the colleges are not preparing the student for the real market out there. They are just preparing them to know how to cram, to know how to understand pressure, but not necessarily the skill that is needed out there.
That was in the past. That's why I said that we now have vocational institutions. And even in traditional conventional universities, you still have departments that offer these technical courses. And you have students, going into them and keying into these courses. So I think the problem here is not that it is not the one of availability, but the one of motivation. It is the one of the students recognizing the fact that Nigeria, or the world in which we are in, is no longer the way it used to be. So it is not one of availability. All these things are available. But where is the motivation? It is absent. We have departments that offer these courses. University of Lagos has it, UNN, Nsoka. They all offer all these things. So when you say that education is scam, he has been talking about cost of education. I think it is a different problem altogether. And it has to do with the government failure. So that you're not able to pay your school fees is not a guarantee to say, is not enough to say that education is scam. College is scam. No. It is
let
a
me
different problem
interject.
altogether.
Yes, I get your point. I would like to interject here.
Okay.
Mr. Dunamix, isn't it true that many high-paying jobs still require a college degree?
I don't think that is completely true, and it's not completely a lie or false at the same time. Yeah, most high-paying jobs might require you to still have a degree.
No, but I think let me put the facts straight. Most high-paying job, and when I said most high-paying job, I mean most high-paying job, because according to the data on ground, 9 out of 10 of the most high-paying job require a college degree, and they are as follow. Chief Executive Officer. You can't become a Chief Executive Officer without understanding management, and you can't learn management without going to the college. Corporate lawyer. You can't become a lawyer without passing through the instituted formal system of education. Surgeon is the third. Then data science. That's the data science is the only one that will agree to disagree. Maybe you can gain the knowledge without going to the university. Then we have petroleum engineering, etc., etc. 9 out of 10 require a college degree. So, what do you think about that?
Okay, when you say 9 out of 10 high-paying jobs, kind of, require a college degree, yeah, that makes sense. But we can say for sure that in the current world where we live, for instance, in Nigeria, what kind of sets people apart or make them successful in life is not actually a paycheck. You get? It's not actually a paycheck. Understand? Even though you're a civil servant earning ₦1 million a month and you work for 30 years, I don't think that is enough to kind of completely establish you as somebody to be compared to those we call billionaires to say. So to become successful in life is different from having a high paycheck. Because that is correct. Maybe 9 out of 10 of high-paying jobs require a degree. Although I will counter the part of a CEO or the chief executive officer, I don't think that is correct. Where you say you must have a college degree to be a CEO. I think I know a bunch of them that do not necessarily have a degree.
But wait a minute. Give me an example of one.
Okay, so now let's look at I know you guys will be like, don't call Mark Zuckerberg, don't call Mark Zuckerberg, don't call Steve Jobs, but we are all CEOs and they don't have a degree necessarily. So I think there are most of them in Nigeria, which I can't remember their name. If we go on LinkedIn, you're going to see most of AI tools we are using today are built by college dropouts. So let's look at the team behind Sam Altman. So these don't necessarily need a college degree to be successful, but yeah, you might need a college degree to get a high paying check. But a high paycheck does not kind of define how successful you are. Understand? So we can both agree that to kind of make a difference in the world we live in, you don't necessarily need that high paycheck thing. You kind of need to kind of innovate in your own way.
All right. I get you, and I also agree with you that Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates were not a college graduate, but they passed through the college anyway. So that leads us to our second prompt. And I would like to start with Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. Can you still succeed without a degree in today's world? Do you believe that someone can succeed without a degree in today's world? Because some billionaires, as he rightly mentioned, are just skilled workers. They never went to college, but it happened in a very rare scenario. We must have to attest to that. So do you think you can still succeed without a college degree? Because we can base our argument on just 3 people out of 8 billion that inhabit the world. Bill Gates is Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. There are not many people like them. So it's happen in a very, very rare probability. So what do you have to say about that?
Yes, in every case, there is always an exception. And what Dunamis has mentioned, are the exception. But generally, largely, I can tell you for free, in Nigeria, you cannot succeed without a college degree. Now, unless you have this natural talent or natural, flair for a particular kind of skill, maybe you are a trader, then you are not just talented, but you are a genius, then you will succeed. But the vast majority, of those who don't have a degree don't succeed in Nigeria. I tell you for this.
All right, but with online learning, internship, and practical skills, isn't there now more than one route to success, even in Nigeria? Because, some people make it online, definitely by creating skits. Some people, there's an incident, one Nigerian called Pela, a very young guy, 19 years old, a skit maker, said he's going to employ 2 people to be taking care of his camera. But the requirement is you must have a master's degree. And he didn't even go to university in the first place. So does that imply that people can still succeed without college degree?
All right. Like I told you before, there is always an exception. Now, the question you ask yourself is, what percentage of, those who are learning these technical skills, what percentage of them are succeeding in the long run? Now, why I say in the long run is that if, for example, you are working for a stable company or you are working for the government, you are sure of what I call, you have job security. You have job security. And recently, there has been some increments in the remuneration and salaries of workers, those who do white-collar jobs. So you have job security, sure. Then you have, financial stability in the future, because even after you
finish the job, there's definitely
you exit your job, you will still be receiving money.
But
what about those who, I'm not underrating the importance or the necessity of content creation. Of course, it may give you money, but it does not guarantee finance. It does not guarantee you richness unless you are consistent in it, but it doesn't guarantee the way white collar jobs guarantee.
All right, Mr. Dunamix, I would like you to respond to that, but before you start responding, I'll pose another question to you. You talk about Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs, which are successful, utterly successful today, and they never passed through college. But there are 8 billion people in the world. Relying on rare cases like this, isn't it a risk? If you advise someone to go and not to go to college, don't you think it is risky for you to cite an example of just 3 people out of 8 billion people in the world?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. But like Mr. Tochukwu said, he said it's quite rare. But you can still flip it and say those that are successful via the white collar job, they are also very, very rare to see successful people. In Nigeria, we also have the likes of Aliko Dangote, I forgot his name, someone Maduka from Coach Norris, they are Cosmos Maduka from Kosharis. These are people that are also successful without also setting foot in the college. So it's also rare to see those that climb the corporate ladder and become successful. I can say for sure that you see the college system and the white collar system is most at times very, very limiting. Understand? It is very, very, very limiting, where we are kind of tied to a certain amount of salary for 30, 40 years, and then sometime a promise of pension, which most at times you might end up not still seeing. But like Mr. Tochukwu said, he said that the content creators, they don't have any any assurance of finance after maybe when they reach a certain age and they can no longer create content. But we can say for sure that these people also have a notable investment which they might have around which not necessarily are open for us to see, but they might have notable investment around. So, like I would say, the academics, I don't know how to put it, but it kind of sets us on a one track. It sets everybody on one particular track. The track of go to school, graduate, and get a job, and then spend 30, 40 years of your life working and then retire. There is no exploration of talent or intelligence here. They kind of put everybody in one
All
box,
right.
and
Yeah, yeah. I get your point.
set us to one trajectory. So that's what I would say.
I get your point, Mr. Dynamics. But you didn't answer my question. I want you to answer in just one or two words. Is it not risky for you to advise someone that don't go to college, and you cite an example with probably these three people that are utterly successful, and it happened in a very rare case? Isn't it risky?
They are, like I said, vice versa. It is also risky to advise somebody and say, go to college, you will get a job. It's also risky to say that.
All right.
It's also risky to say
All right,
that.
I get your point.
Yeah.
I get
I
your
think
point.
I disagree with you on that. Yes, you cannot say, you can ask and advise somebody to go to college. If you tell somebody not to go to college, you are the enemy to that person. I tell you the truth. Because education is the greatest tool which you can use to change the world. And that includes college. College is part of education. So it is a very wrong and demonic advice to tell somebody not to go to college. Rather, tell the person, go to college, but also acquire a skill. That is the best advice. Not just don't go to education. That is wrong.
All right. That's great. That's a very strong response, and that lead us to the thoughts item in our prompt. That's prompt number 3. Are colleges producing thinkers or just paper holders? I'll start with you, Mr. Tochukwu.
Colleges today. Okay, let me say that education is meant to affect 3 aspects of every man: the head, the heart, and the hand. That is what we call complete education. The education that reforms the mind, reforms the heart, and then makes somebody active. Today's education in Nigeria are not producing thinkers. And like I said before, the reason is attributable to the students, both the students, the parents, and the government. I include the students because I have been part of the thing. I know what it means that students nowadays don't read. When I was in secondary school, we had a motivational speaker called Dr. Ken Katas, who told us that readers were leaders. It is only when you read that you acquire knowledge that will enable you to lead. Today's education is not producing thinkers. What it is producing is consumers and what I call reciprocators. Because we only reciprocate.
Yeah.
And that is why at the end of our stay in the university, somebody will tell you, please, or ask you, give me your own project, so I will copy. We are copycats. We are not innovators.
All right.
In today's education.
All right. With regards to this prompt number 3, Mr. Tochukwu agreed that colleges in Nigeria are not producing thinkers. So, do you share the same sentiment, Mr. Dynamics?
Yes, yeah. I share same view, and not only in Nigeria, I'll still say globally. Because there's a question I once asked, I was like, did anybody teach Isaac Newton physics? How did he start his calculations? How did he do what he did? Did anybody have to teach him how physics works? Or the person who invented the aeroplane, did he have to learn how aerodynamics work? Actually, I think we can both say no. So, like you said, Nigerian college, or like I would say, college in general, are not producing thinkers. They're just producing people they can tie to the system of, like I would say, working 40 years and then expecting pension at the end. Nothing new, just that same circle continue on and on. After you work 40 years, you get a pension, you give birth to your children, and they go that same route. There is no innovation, there is no thinking. And for you to kind of innovate or think outside the box, you kind of have to leave that particular system. You understand? You kind of have to leave that particular system because, like I said initially, Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton did not learn what they didn't read what they did from book, or the guys who invented aeroplane, they did not go through physics classes to learn how aerodynamics work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Dynamics, that definitely Isaac Newton, although Isaac Newton, I think he was in the college, but he was even expelled in the college. It is true. So that leads us to the fourth item in our prompts. College versus skills. What does the market really values? The job market, does it value college certificate, college degree more, or does it value skills more? I will start with you, Dynamics.
This just makes sense because for sure the market now is in need of skill, not your certificate. Nobody care more about your certificate. I recently was opportune to set my resume to a HR senior HR personnel on LinkedIn for him to review, and he was like, "Why is my education on the top part of it?" He was asking why that, why not my skill? I was like, I thought that is what is necessary. I put my educational qualification on top. He was like, no, you don't do that. You put that on the bottom. And that just makes sense. The same thing with a tweet Elon Musk recently tweet where he said something. I can't say it word by word, but he was like, show me what you can do. I don't care about your paper, something like that. So these days, what companies or what the world need now is people that can innovate, people that can think, people that can do things. Nobody care about your grades or your GPA. Recently, recent recruits from Google are like, nobody asked them their GPA. Nobody was asking them, what do you score for their GPA? They just kind of give them something to do that is maybe an algorithm, a data structure question, and they answer it and get their way there. Nobody's asking you, what is your GPA? What do you study? Well, nobody is doing that. These days, you see somebody who studied accounting and is in marketing, somebody who studied marketing is in economics. But we know back in the days, these are different fields completely. But now, nobody is asking you. As long as you can defend the fact that you can do this, nobody cares about what you studied or what your GPA was. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dynamics. The same question goes to Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. What does the market really value, college or skills?
I think the market needs both. Both are mutually inclusive. I see college as giving you the theory, not just the theory, even the practical. Because I said that in schools today, we have departments that offer technical courses. So they work hand in hand. The market needs both the theory and the skills. Because let's take, for example, Nollywood. There are those in Nollywood who are very popular, who have the skills, but they don't have the knowledge. There are certain things, terminologies that pertains to theater, arts, that you will mention. They don't know these things. So where are all these things taught? Is it not in school? Yes. So you go to school to acquire the knowledge. The knowledge 50, the skill 50. When you put them together, you have a complete man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. So with that, we go to the last item in our prompts, and it reads higher education or higher exploitation. Let me start with you, Mr. Dynamics. Are university truly helping students succeed, or are they cashing in on outdated system and empty promises?
Okay, yeah. Actually, university these days do not care about success. after the university, after this college. They just care about the paper and their money. Understand? We can say for sure that most of our curriculum these days are from the 90s. We don't have any latest curriculum. Everything we kind of study is from the 90s. And this college do not teach us what actually what will actually apply in real life. They just teach us random theories, and most of the times we don't actually need them. Like Mr. Tochuku said, he said that college teaches you the theory, where 85% of the time you will not need them. You will just need a fraction of every theory you got. So college will not teach you how to handle pressure. They won't teach you how to pay taxes. They won't teach you all these stuffs, but they just teach you what the course is about, what the course is about. And most of them are very, very outdated, maybe from the 90s, and kind of these things do not apply in real life sense. They don't apply in real life sense. That's why you see many graduates will leave after graduating. They still have to go extra mile to learn what they intend, what should have been taught to them in school. You understand? So they kind of go extra mile to kind of study that by themselves or get hands-on experience by themselves. That's why somebody once said recently, he said that in Nigeria, we value a child who can recite Wole Soyinka over a child who can repair generator. That's why we have a country with grammar speakers, but we don't have light, because we value the theories of Wole Soyinka and the poetry and everything about it. But in the end, the child who is into mechanics at that time can also be brought in and polished with his skill and kind of become something. But the idea of understanding what Wole Soyinka said actually does not really matter, does not have any societal impact.
No, I would like to interject here. The idea of bringing your analogy to Wole Soyinka and the likes, I think is fallacious, because everyone is special in his unique purpose, definitely. So we need the expertise of Wole Soyinka. In the same vein, we need the expertise of someone who will fix generator. The society needs both to help the society grow. So definitely, if someone focus on being like Wole Soyinka, I'm not discouraging him to do that, but we should not value someone who become like Wole Soyinka more than someone who is fixing generator. I agree on that also. We should value them equally, and the distinction should be strictly based on what you have to offer to the society to make the society a better place, rather than the course in particular, because I don't believe there's any course that is better than another. It is just the application, and we both need it. If you can imagine everybody becoming a generator fixer, I would just like to use your analogy. Then the society will not be fixed in the time of literature. And literature is another part that we must have to pay close attention to. Thank you for your contribution. And I will shift to Mr. Tochuku. Why do students pay so much for outdated courses and still struggle to find job?
Come again?
Why do students pay so much for outdated courses and still struggle to find jobs?
All right. First of all, are there outdated courses?
Yeah, to some extent there are, because courses that are not currently needed in the job market, I think it is fair enough for us to call them outdated courses.
Could you mention one?
Yeah, definitely. There are courses like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling out there watching us. But for example, courses that deals with humanity, while we have everything on our fingertips, we're living in the age of technology. What impact does it has to us? Because every knowledge that I need is there on the internet for me to search and see it. So these courses that has to do with humanity, I look at them as having little relevance in the job market. And not just that, how many companies will come out and say we need to employ experts on humanity? How many companies? That's clearly signifies that they are not needed or outdated.
Well, I have to disagree with you. No cause is outdated. No cause is outdated. That's what I believe. Now, for the aspect of paying, high, and in the end having no job, I think I've answered that question. The reason why we have no job is because we are not being inclusive. Now, let me give you a simple analogy. If you enter an office, you need a chair and a table. And what you have already is a chair. Will you throw the chair away because there is no table? You wouldn't do such a thing. You will go out and look for a desk or a chair. So what I think is every cause is important. But I think we should incorporate other causes which we think that are more important, not equally important, that are more important. We should incorporate them. I'm not, wishing away or, driving away the ones we have already. Every cause is important.
Thank you, Mr. Tochukwu.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Mr. Tochukwu Raphael. And with that, we come to the end of today's edition. Thank you, Mr. Dunamix and Mr. Tochukwu Raphael, for sharing your powerful insight on this critical issue. Whether you believe college is a scam or a stepping stone to success, one thing is clear. The conversation about education, value, and opportunity must continue. To those watching Wase Unfiltered for the first time, welcome. This is the platform where you are free to speak your truth without apology. On this program, no topic is too sacred and no truth is off limits. If you would like to be part of the Wase Unfiltered family, simply chat the WhatsApp number in the description and you will be added to our WhatsApp platform. And don't forget, like this video, hit the notification bell to get alerted when we drop a new video. Let's grow this bold community together. I remain your host, Ibrahim Umar Wase. Until next time, this is Wase Unfiltered. Good night.